What's happening, everybody? Glad to bring you another video. Today, merging two of my favorite topics, magic and subliminals. Check it out. Most people think about confidence and self-mastery as a social thing, right? They think it's the most dominant person, the person with the most energy or authority, or simply the biggest guy in the room, in size. But there's something even more powerful and much more rare. What is this? What is this more powerful and rare? It's the person that knows themselves so well. The person that knows themselves and understands who they are at their core, and exactly what their purpose is in life, and how to get there. That's a self-mastered person, right? Spiritually. The person who has complete understanding and certainty, with no confusion, no overwhelm, and no sense of meaningless. That strong rock, that unshakable person, that unshakable foundation, that's the spiritual alpha, right? It's a person that has worked on themselves so much, has delved so deeply into their own consciousness, has noticed and studied the patterns of being so well, that they figured themselves out. They know themselves. Welcome. Let me introduce to you Alchemist. Alchemist is the newest Subliminal by Subliminal Club. And this has been in development for over a month, right? And I've been in talks with the developers, with both owners of Subliminal Club for the past month, and they keep mentioning little tidbits here and there about how excited they are to release Alchemist and these little things that are coming about and what amazingness they have to offer, because let's just face it, they just keep releasing amazing stuff week after week after week. But they've been on hiatus for a little while. Because they've really been working on Alchemist. This is something, and I've had talks with the developers, with the the creators of Subliminal Club many years back. I want to say it back in 2015. No, it was 2016, where the conversation was, what if there was a psychic subliminal, right? And this is back in the days when Subliminal Club didn't exist, and we were just like having awesome interchange between in conversation about what we would do with a psychic subliminal. Back then, we had no idea, independently of where this subliminal is right now. Back then, we had no idea of the limits or the limitless potential that psychic subliminal would actually offer. Back then, it was something as simple as decalcify the pineal gland, lucid dreaming, astral projection, that kind of stuff. But now it has evolved to an understanding, an idea, me personally, to the place where I communicate with spirits on a regular basis, and I cast manifestation spells that are way more than just law of attraction stuff, that the secret mumbo jumbo that is so hype and easy to follow and like gives you a little bit of results here and there. Nah, I'm into the deep stuff that gets you real results, right? And I'm sure the people that are watching this video, if you are subscribed to my channel, you are also in that same boat where you like the real stuff. Let's get to the real nitty-gritty of manifestation. And if you have followed my subliminal videos and you're mostly watching my magic videos, and you're new to subliminals, you're gonna like this one, because this one is dedicated just for you. This also, if you're on the flip side of that, if you like my subliminal videos and you're kind of interested in magic, this is also for you. You guys kind of get to meet each other in the middle ground, and I'm so glad to be able to introduce this, because this is two of my favorite things in the entire world, subliminals and magic. And let me just stop right there. Let's go right into it, right? Let's start talking about the meat and potatoes of why Alchemist is gonna be sick and why I'm gonna start using it. First of all, it's a 4-stage thing, right? It's a 4-stager, and they've released a couple of these before. Khan and another one, the Ecstasy of Gold. There's a couple of these before, and they might have some more too, but I'm not too familiar with them. But this one is a little bit different, because it's kind of like, it's got a completely different feel to it. Obviously, this is about spiritual stuff. It's not necessarily about the secular stuff, it's about the spiritual stuff. Deep down, the work that you get to do on yourself subconsciously, that turns you into the person that you want to be and gets you connected with your higher self, but so much more than that. Stage 1. What do we have in stage 1? Stage 1 is known as the Pathfinder. That's what they call it, the Pathfinder, because it helps you find your path, right? Yeah. So this is like the cleansing, healing, blockage removal, decalcification, detoxification stage, you know, stuff of that nature, like removing all the blockages from your life that prevent you from accessing the potential that is within you. This is decalcification. You might have heard about the pineal gland. Whatever you think or may not think about it, just pretend like it exists. I don't know if I'm fully sold on the concept myself, but if I pretend that it exists, this is a subliminal. The detoxification phase will actually start decalcifying the pineal gland. Now, that's not to say I believe in that, because I may or may not. I'm open to being proved one way or the other, but let's just say for all intents and purposes, that's what it does, right? Detoxification, that's a little bit more easy to digest for most people, right? Detox the body, cleanse the body, put good stuff in, and the spirit naturally follows, right? That's pretty simple to follow. That's pretty simple to like comprehend. It's like super simple, right? So that's what this subliminal does. That's what this stage of, it's called Pathfinder. That's what it does. It helps you find your path by removing the blockages in your path to allow you to get to where you need to go. So another thing about this Pathfinder is it also plugs and plays people into your life exactly where you need them, when you need them. It manifests exactly who you need to manifest, whether it be a teacher, a mentor, a spiritual guide, a guru, a saint, whatever it may be. Maybe it's even a partner or other fellow practitioners, or maybe it even is a very specific path that you want to follow, or that you weren't expecting, but it happened to fall into your lap, because that's just how this spiritual stuff works. It's just like the things that you're least expecting just plop right into your life. And lo and behold, Pathfinder has put the people in your life that needed to be there. That's the kind of stuff that Pathfinder is designed to do. And I know I've talked to the developers about this like countless amount of times. They were super stoked about this because it's just an amazing, incredible part of the journey. Second part, refinery. That's what the stage 2 is. Refinery, refinement. What are we refining here? So this is like the skill development, the psychic development, psychic enhancement, intuition development, chakra balancing, clairsenses. I don't know if you know anything about clairsentience, like clairsentient, which is being able to psychically feel something, clairaudient, which is to psychically hear something, clairvoyant, which is to psychically see things. All those like 5 senses that we normally have, there's a clairsense as well, which is like the 6th level, or the next level above it. Like if I'm clairvoyant, I can see with my 3rd eye. If I'm clairsentient, I can feel energies around me that I like. This is regular feeling, right? Then clairsentient is like there's somebody's energies right next to me, like that's clairsentient. Premonitions, right? Some of you, a lot of people I know are able to have premonitions. I myself have premonitions like crazy. Like a little insight from the future happens to hit me in the present moment, and then later it confirms it to be true, which is really cool. Sorry, I stumbled over my words a little bit. So there's also spiritual contact that you can gain, quicker development of skills you started learning during stage 1. And that's what they were telling me. The developers were telling me that this is where you get quicker development of the skills that you were learning in stage 1. And the cool thing about this is that some of these things that we've talked about at the other phase, or just a little bit earlier, some of those things, like a lot of people have already had access to for most of their life, but just have had no way of tempering it, refining it into where they want it to be. Like let's say for instance, like I've always had those premonitions, right? This is the time when I listen to refinery, that's when all these premonitions will start to be developed. Like the skill that I've been born or maybe gifted with starts to get developed into a more refined skill. Another thing that refinement does is it balances you out. It balances you out in ways that you might have been too high or too low in certain aspects of your life. Let's say for instance you're a little too aggressive. It kind of tempers you around the edges. It smoothens you where you are rough around the edges. Why may that be important for spiritual development? It totally is. I mean, think about it. If you are a little too much of something, or if you're too little of something, you need that to be balanced. You have to have this even working playing field in every aspect of your life. And spiritual development is like trying to get you to that even middle ground in a way that allows you to better access everything in the universe, and everything in the world, and everything in your reality around you. That's kind of what the balance of life helps you with. And like this refinement sub, based on what the creators have told me, it actually like kind of works to balance out energy centers in the body. Like I don't know if you believe in chakras or the middle pillar or whatever practice you may have. The great thing about this spiritual subliminal by Subliminal Club is that it doesn't matter what your spiritual practice or spiritual beliefs or even religious beliefs happen to be. It really doesn't matter because it works on what you know as a framework of your reality, and it allows you to make judgments, and it allows you to grow in ways that are suitable for you. It doesn't have a, and this is how a Subliminal Club works in general. It doesn't have this fixed archetype where it forces you to grow into this archetype. The thing about Subliminal Club, and especially the Subliminal, is it allows you and it molds you into the archetype that you see fit. If you happen to be a devout Christian, and that's totally cool, this spiritual subliminal will actually help get you access to your Christian faith. On the flip side, if you like to summon demons and you like to call on other entities, angels, and if you like to work with sigils, like, you can actually gain access into a better gnosis, state of gnosis, and be able to communicate with that realm of spirits or whatever. And like I said, like, it doesn't matter what framework or archetype you want to fit into, like, this subliminal will help you get into exactly where you need to go. And then you have the third stage, awakening. Ooh, awakening. I got chills thinking about that. Like, this aspect, this stage of the subliminal is going to be so dope because this is the acknowledgement phase, the awakening, awareness, enhancement, enlightenment. And I've heard that it also has a Kundalini aspect to it as well. Like, based on what the developers, the creators said. I keep calling them developers, I guess they are developers. But the creators have said that there's like a Kundalini aspect to it. Me personally, I have prematurely activated my Kundalini when I was like 15 or 16 years old. Proceeded to have 10 years of absolute hell. So I do not recommend going out of your way to do that if you are not familiar with it. But the good news is, it doesn't really promote anything. It just makes it so that, okay, it doesn't promote Kundalini. The subliminal itself does not promote Kundalini activity. What it does is it makes it conducive. It makes your awareness, your reality, your body conducive and receptive if you choose to follow that path. And that's a very important thing to know, because Kundalini itself is a very ancient Hindu practice. It's a Hindu tradition that is not, I mean, it's not even mainstream Hindu. It's a very specific subsect of Hinduism, of Kundalini yoga, that people that practice that. And it's very powerful. And Kundalini is supposed to be the energy. It's a serpent-like energy that goes like this, like a caduceus, catechus, I don't know how to say it, but you know those medical symbols where you have the two snakes intertwining, like basically the double helix pattern. So if you were looking at my body completely from my butt, it would go up the root of my spine, through 7 energy centers of the body, all the way up through past my head, and the energy all like climaxes up here, right? And Kundalini energy is the flow of that energy and taking control of that energy. So when I'm talking about this, it allows you to access that should you choose to follow that path, which is pretty cool, because that's not a very easy thing to accomplish. I mean, honestly, it takes people 20, probably sometimes even 30 years. Some people spend their whole life trying to figure out how to access that energy. And for a subliminal to come by and give you the opportunity to have an easier access to that, should you choose to, it's a pretty big deal. You might want to check it out. So all the other stuff about this refinement phase too, right? I'm sorry, not refinement, awakening. This is where things start to get real. Things start to get real because you start understanding, you start seeing the manifestation of the things that you're looking for in your everyday life. Like, your reality starts to change because you are seeing how the subliminal has affected you and how spiritual you really have become by just listening to the subliminal and continuing with your daily practices, which is phenomenal. And then we have the fourth and final stage, which is just called the Alchemist. It doesn't really have much description. The guys at Subliminal Club really just said, man, this is just it's a combination of the other ones, and it's kind of meant to be used. And they worded it very carefully because it's not meant to be used anyway, because they love experimentation. They encourage experimentation. They said it's kind of meant to be used at the end when you finish with the other 3 and just continue your spiritual evolution. And I'm so excited to use this, guys. Like, it just released yesterday. I already got myself a copy, and you already know, if you follow my journey on YouTube, I do all kinds of magic, and I do a lot more than I've just described in my videos, right? I have a fat collection. I'm about to pause this video and I'm about to go grab my collection of all this magic that I do. Just to show you guys. Like, look at this stack of books. It's almost as big as my face. You see it? All this stuff that I have read through each one of these, and I've done rituals from every single one of these. I'm freaking excited. So we have Archangels of Magic, right? Which is a relatively powerful book. It doesn't have much. It doesn't really have much attention. Like, people don't really acknowledge this book much. This has what is called the Ladder of Ascent, which is a complicated ritual, right? And I'm excited to do this because it is, like, with the Subliminal, I can actually clear any of my blockages and access the state of being that I need to get to perform this long ritual. And then in this book, this is my most recent purchase, Demons of Magic. I don't know if you have ever seen ritual number 3, ritual number 2, or ritual number 3. I've actually just posted my most recent video. Is a video of myself and a group of 5 friends in New Orleans, Louisiana, actually summoning payment, like, into full evocation. And God, learning how to do that took 3 hours. Like, it took us 3 hours to figure out how we were going to perform this ritual. And then it took 1 hour to actually perform the ritual. That is a long time of preparation. And that's kind of like what this Subliminal is. This Subliminal is those 3 hours of preparation so that you could do that 1 hour of magic. And the reason that I even brought this book up is because if you have done any rituals from this book, you know how difficult it is, and like how difficult it is to make contact is, well, okay, so making contact is not that difficult, but to really get in the mood, you have to chant a name over and over and over and over again, and then you have to chant another name over and over and over and over again until you feel the spirit's presence, and then you have to pay attention to see if the spirit is there. It's like, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit overwhelming, and the reason I'd never done it before is because it was extremely overwhelming, and I thought I would never be able to do it. But now, here we have the Alchemist, which is gonna help me make my rituals so much better. And guys, just like, stop listening to my video and go out and get this Subliminal. Use the link in the description down below to support my channel, and thanks guys for watching.